think it's dawned on me that you ain't coming back. I've lost my chance to see us find our way back. And in the end, amidst these trying times, I'll always try to find you. I'll lie to you to find the truth that you hold back. So stay with me. You know that I'll follow. I can't breathe. Together we'll fall apart. Stay here right in my arms, and we'll start again. So stay. Dramatically talk to me, and it's so funny, you're all I wanted, and I can't talk, want you out of my life, so just say none. I'll wait for days if you ain't one, I'll just say none. So stay with me, you know that I'll follow. I can't breathe, together we'll fall apart. Stay here right in my arms, we'll start again. So stay with me, together we'll fall apart. Together we'll fall apart. Together we'll fall apart. Stay here right in my arms, and we'll start again. So stay with me. Together we'll fall apart.
Opportunistic, still rubbing panels as they go together. It's folded the wing mirror in on Gerardo's car.
Misano is such a difficult circuit for these guys to get right. There's a lot of start-stop sections around the back. It's a very, very quick section as well.
It's a fantastic start from the 23. They're 4 wide there by the look of it.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, everybody. Happy New Year. It's the first stream of 2023 for the Chaz Draycott Media Formula Renault 3.5 Championship. And what a circuit we are visiting this evening. Circuit de Francorchamps in the middle of Belgium. It's going to be an absolutely wonderful night of racing. I'm super excited for this. And I hope you enjoyed that new iRacing advert as well, by the way. Hope that one went down well. I got sent that just by iRacing yesterday. Pretty interesting way of looking at things, to be honest with you. No game footage in there whatsoever, although I do believe those models themselves are actually from the game. Good to see you in chat as well. Ed May, Ben Hoffman, Chloe as well. Great to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Chloe's over there on Twitch. Ben and Ed are on YouTube. We are streaming live to YouTube, Facebook and Twitch this evening. My name's Chaz Draycott, and this is going to be rounds 5 and 6 of the championship. Really looking forward to getting this one underway. We're going to take a look at the current championship standings, though, before we do anything else. Alex Johnson, as you see, 48 points at the top of the standings. Only 3 points clear of Cam Dance from Orbit Motorsport. The reigning Formula 1 world champion is going to be looking to repeat an amazing amount of success that he's had in championships before here at Spa, and hopefully have a good night of it. White Van Gaming in the chat as well. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Ben Hoffman, who I mentioned a moment ago, is third in the championship on 38 points. And then look how close it is. Leonard Schneebel on 35 points. Sam Bentham on 34. Then we've got Tim Perry as well, 28 points. Jack Johns on 27. It is oh so close all the way down the field. I'm going to be looking everywhere on my timing screen to see what I can keep up with tonight. And the drivers are going to be trying to just keep up with one another, basically, and have a clean evening's racing. This is Kevin Zemstra making his way up Eau Rouge and Radion in the Alcatec NHR machine. He's making his way now down the Kemmel Straight, and listen to it scream. The 3.5 litre V8 engine in the Formula Renault 3.5 makes one hell of a racket. Just having a look at now who is going to be setting the fastest sectors at the moment, because there's quite a spread as well. Silas, I could hear somebody doing donuts, and it said that Silas has been off the circuit for quite a while, and this is probably why. Oh, there you go, he's blown his engine up. We've got Tim Perry in 6th place at the moment with practice underway. This is not qualifying yet, so it's not going to be having any bearing on the grid positions or anything. Let's not forget we have 2 races over the course of the evening. 2 75-kilometre races. They're going to be 11 laps each round here at Spa. And we have a qualifying session before all of that as well. It's currently Mats Gjestrombakken that is fastest for IGL Coatings E-Racing, the driver that's already taken a race win so far this season. Won the very first race of the championship, actually, with Kevin Zemstra in 2nd, Lennart Schneebel 3rd, Alex Johnson 4th, Ben Hoffman in 5th. Ed May for Spontex CDM Esports is currently in 9th position. His livery still, for some reason, hasn't updated from Trading Paints on the bottom left of the screen there. I'm not quite sure why, but he's wearing the Hoggies with pride. So too is Simon Price tonight, although not quite on the circuit at the moment. Cam Dance has joined the session late again, as he always does, right near the end. He's not even put a time on the board yet, but the reigning Formula 1 world champion, wearing that number 1 on the nose of his car this season, is certainly not one of these drivers that you can count out at any point. Look at how effortlessly these things glide around Blanchimont. They just make it look like a normal corner. Good to see Rob in the chat as well. Lennart Schneebel in there as well. Even some of the drivers popping in for a chat while practice gets completed. And Cam is just now maybe just getting used to the clutch bite point and getting ready to do some practice starts. Here's Michael Jones for Rewind Racing. The number 93 car having a bit of a spin to the left-hand side. Then again, he's a massive fan of Rockingham, as you can see, so he's used to turning left, or the idea of it anyway. Here's one of the prettiest cars on the grid. And whoa, big spin for Mark Redford into the barrier. Well, it's a shame that, because the Yorkshire Spirit Racing car, easily one of the very prettiest on the grid. It looks fantastic. This is Lasse Sorensen, another one of the fastest drivers in the championship for IGL Coatings E-Racing. A team that is unfortunately down in 7th place in the championship at the moment, in the teams championship. with 25 points. And that is because this man, Lasse Sorensen, has no points so far. It's unbelievable, because he is definitely one of the quickest. We've got Sam Bentham in the Weebmobile, the boosted motorsport car. He was the man that put it on pole position for the first round of the championship at Silverstone. Aidan Millward in the chat. Cars go burr indeed. They make a hell of a burr though, don't they? I barely think that's a burr, to be honest. It's more of a gah. It looks and sounds wonderful. Obviously low lighting conditions here at Spa because we are using the real date in sim. So in the actual simulator itself it is the 5th of January. The session actually started at... I apologise because I don't know what that noise was. The session started at 12 at midday in the sim. So right now we're getting to about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun doesn't set here till 4:20, and the second race is due to be finished before even 3:30. Cars go crash. They do indeed, Michael. They do indeed. Team Superior's Rob Lundgren making his way down the hill up by Rouge and Radion in the old John Player Special Lotus tribute livery. Great looking race car. Ben Gregory in another fantastic looking machine as well for Boosted Simsport. It's Boosted Simsport that are 5th in the championship at the moment, but their counterpart team Boosted Motorsport, which is Sam Bentham and Tim Perry, are currently 9 points off Alcantech NHR, who lead the way. That is Alex Jonsson and Kevin Zemstra. Currently find themselves 2nd and 4th in practice. And it's their Alcantech teammate, essentially, Lennart Schneebel, that is 3rd for Alcantech Nyman Racing. Jakob Szymanski is out there as well for Alcantech Nyman. We've got Jack Johns for Pulsus Esports. He's joined by his teammate John Bailiff on track tonight. There was a car off in the background there. Oh, Jack has let me know as well that his... For anyone that doesn't know, Jack is known online as The Racing Line, the very well-founded YouTube channel. He publicises a lot of amazing track guides across iRacing for all the official races, and he runs championships as well. He's also co-commentated with me on the CDM Formula 1 World Championship. He's a very good broadcaster and commentator, is Jack. He's running the United Arab Emirates flag, of course, as he's moved out to Dubai, the jammy sod. But he did message me earlier today to let me know that the Racing Line Touring Car Championship is coming back for a second season. On the 9th of January, they're going to be doing the initial season qualifying, and then they're going to have Media Day on the 23rd of January. The first round is going to be on the 30th of January. That's going to be all the TCR cars except for the Hyundai Veloster. They've got a very interesting league rule where all the teams have to have one of each car to keep the spread of all the manufacturers even throughout the series, which I think is fantastic. So everyone's going to be in teams of 3, and each team has to have an Audi, a Hyundai, and, of course, a Honda. Or a Hyundai, I should say, as the advert tells us to say it. Anyway, Michael Jones having another issue there, unfortunately, and meeting the wall very quickly. Here's the boosted-only John's car of John Roberts. John moved up the order in the championship, scoring 8 points at the previous round at Zandvoort. In the first race, that was. Not many drivers have scored points in every race so far this season. Only Cam Dance, Lennart Schneebel, Ben Hoffman, and Alex Jonsson. Only 4 drivers have scored points in all 4 races. That is how up in the air this championship has been so far. Of course, there are incidents galore sometimes, but these cars are incredibly difficult to drive. And the fact that everyone can get around a lap together is, to be honest, quite a miracle. There's a reason I'm a commentator and not a driver. Now we will have the qualifying session. Drivers will now disappear into the pits and then back out once again as it suddenly falls quiet for just a moment over Spa-Francorchamps. We now wait for them to get out on track for the first time in this session. They've got 8 minutes to complete a lap in this session, so they need to get a move on. There's Toby Ward making his way out on track. Oh, they've got 10 minutes, apologies, in this session, not 8 minutes. We extended it for Spa. That sounds mad. Sounded like a fighter jet going up there then. But this is Mats Gjestrembakken, car number 90, won the first race of the season. Very fast driver. And looking at his record in the championship so far, he won a race, then he got no points, and then he got 1 point and 9 points. So he's not really had the rub of the green so far. But we're here at Spa-Francorchamps for 2 more races tonight. And then in a week's time, we will head to Hockenheim, which I'm very excited for. And then the Hungaroring. That's followed by Monza, Catalonia, and then the Red Bull Ring to complete the season. But Mats Gjestrembakken, certainly one of the drivers to watch for this season. With this gorgeous livery, the IGL Coatings E-Racing car has green carbon fibre all over it. They've done a great job at adding that effect onto the livery. You can see it shining a little bit more there. But hello everybody that's joined us so far. It's great to be back once again with this championship. It feels like forever since we've done one of these, to be honest with you, but we had to postpone a round of the Sim Racing Magazine GT4 Championship and then postpone a round of this as well due to an iRacing hotfix. And we're finally back. And it's my first stream of this championship since becoming YouTube partner as well. Thanks again to everyone that's subscribed to the channel. We hit 1,000 subscribers just the other day and got accepted as a YouTube partner as well. I'm absolutely over the moon about it. It just means now that I need to change my adverts and my intro video because apparently it contains copyrighted music, which I've not been told about by the system until now. So thank you, YouTube. Still, if it needs doing, it needs doing. Right then, Mats Gjestrembakken gets on a lap now. Who else is starting a lap? John Bailiff is just crossing the line right now. Mark Redford, Sam Bentham, then Simon Price and Jakub Szymanski as well. Jakub is, well, trying to burn off some fuel and destroy the rev limiter by the sound of it. He's clearly just trying to burn off as much fuel as possible right now. Maybe get a bit of heat into the tyres as well. Is Silas going to be doing the same? Because, no, he's actually just got onto his lap now. It said they were in a similar part of the circuit, but of course, Spa is that long, it's hard to tell really. So who's the furthest around a lap? John Roberts is quite far around. Duncan Marais in the chat, or Marais. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong, mate. He's saying, go John Bailiff. He is supporting John for Pulsus Esports. Still a good turnout tonight as well. The numbers are dropping just slightly as the season goes on. We will be accepting more cars onto the grid soon enough, but we are letting the numbers drop down to a certain point before accepting said reserves. Look at John Roberts here just guiding the car around in the dazzle camouflage of Boosted Motorsport. Makes a fantastic racket. You could see the rubber marks on the right hand side of the racetrack there where people had made a bit of a mess and gone out wide. I could listen to that all day. Probably not good for my hearing, but I could. Onto the brakes goes John now into the chicane. An armful of lock one way, then an armful the other. Smooth on the throttle on the exit. And then plants his foot across the line, and the first lap times will now shine on the left-hand side of the board. Mats Gjestrembakken goes fastest. Alex Jonsson beats him for Alcantech NHR. Lennart Schneebel goes second. Perry goes third. Hoffman is fifth. Ben Gregory is sixth. Then it's John Bailiff. And John Roberts, by the look of it, is going to reset and try and go back out. Sam Bentham does it again for Boosted Motorsport. Sam Bentham, he pulls over to the side of the road. Kevin Zemstra's done a lap, but it doesn't count. And now, by the look of it, everybody's going to jump back into the pits and then go back out once more. Oh, Silas has just had a bit of a wiggle into the chicane. We caught the back end of that. And he's not going to be pleased with that lap time. And it puts him sixth fastest. 1.1 seconds off the top spot. Simon Price crosses the line. He goes 14th fastest. Here comes Jakub Szymanski to the line. Next up behind him is going to be Jack Johns. Has he got an incident point there going wide out the final corner? He has not. 202.963 for Jack Johns. Next up is Ed May across the line. Cam Dance has gone fifth fastest. Very well done to Cam. Then we've got Lasse Sorensen next up. And I said about them starting another lap. It is it's one lap shootout. I don't know that it rules to my own championship. I'm such an idiot. Around the corner then goes Lasse Sorensen around the final corner, and across the line he goes to 9th fastest. So it's important to note that Kevin Zemstra, Martin Kenyon, Jakub Szymanski, Jalbereo Garcia all do not have laps on the board. Ed May and Michael Jones are both still circulating. Now Ed's lap was actually an out lap first time round, so this is his flying lap now. Apologies guys, I know I said go out again. Clearly I don't know it well enough. It's been a while. This is the... oh no! That's the moment where Ed, I'm sure, got an incident point there. An incident point on iRacing is basically when you go outside of the track limits, you lose control of the car, or you make contact with another car. I think Ed just overstayed his welcome on the track limits for a moment there. And he's having to blink in and out as well, with his famously consistent internet. We'll have to wait and see what time Ed does. Michael Jones is just about to start his fast lap here, but the session does tick over instantly when it hits 0. So Michael's just going to have enough time. It's just over 2 minutes for a lap. As long as he gets this nice and clean, doesn't delay himself further, off he goes. Jack Johns is 11th at the moment, just behind John Bailiff, his teammate, so the two of them right together. Here comes Ed May into the final corner. Nice and smooth on the exit, hugs the white line on the right-hand side. Where does that put him on the grid? Ed May, well, flings the car into the barrier. Mind the paint, Ed. Clearly got an incident point, and that's why he's done that. Oh, no! Michael Jones has had a spin up the hill, and he's not going to get a valid time on the board, and unfortunately, that is going to be the end of his qualifying session and the end of the session for everybody. It pops him back into the, strangely, into the active lane within the pit lane. And that is that, I'm afraid. That now means that we have to wait for just a second for the session to tick over, or if I'm a good boy and I do this right, if you bear with me for 2 seconds, we can advance said session and move forward into the race. And then we'll have a look at the grid, of course. And here we go. Sam Bentham starts on pole position then. Gets another championship point. Alex Johnson alongside him, half a second quicker. Sam was as well. That's absolutely remarkable pace, isn't it? Really, really impressive. Lennart Schneebel next up, then Tim Perry, Cam Dance and Mats Gestenbakken on row 3. Celeste Craig Vrolik and Ben Hoffman on row 4. Then it's Lasse Sorensen and John Bailiff rounding out the top 10. Jack Johns is 11th alongside Ben Gregory. Then we have Rob Lundgren and Mark Redford 13th and 14th. Toby Ward is 15th ahead of John Roberts. Then it's Simon Price and Kevin Zemstra on row 9. Ed May and Michael Jones round out the top 20 ahead of Martin Kenyon, Jalbereo Garcia and Jakub Szymanski, who will start at the back of the grid. So who's your money on, everybody? Who is thine money on? Because there's a number of drivers right near the front of the order that we've seen have incredible pace, but not the consistency to complete the race cleanly. I'm very excited to see how this all pans out, to be honest with you. There's going to be a lot of slipstreaming going on here. So the drivers don't really want to be the car at the very front of the pack. Everyone's going to have to take it nice and easy in these opening laps. 23 cars on the grid, which is still a decent-sized grid tonight. We did have 36 signed up at the start of the season. But, of course, the numbers have dropped a bit, and there are a few drivers that have all said they're not going to be here this evening, so it's understandable that we don't have a bunch of them with us. We just wait now for Alex Johnson and Lasse Sorensen. Alex makes his way to the grid now on the right-hand side. And it looks like Lasse is not going to start on the grid. He's going to potentially take a pit lane start. So, round 5 of the Chaz Draycott Media Formula Renault 3.5 Championship from Spa is underway. Great start by Sam Bentham. Really good start by Lennart Schneebel. Oh, there's contact between the two Spontex CDM Esports cars in the background. The two of them pile into each other, and Jack Johns has been turned. Jack Johns has been hit. There's a car off in front of him as well. John Roberts has had contact with him. Is that Jakub Szymanski that's off? Yes, Jakub's come back on though. I think there was a few others that might have got damage from all of that. They're nearly 3 wide through Eau Rouge and Radion to begin with. It's the Alcantec cars and Tim Perry hounding Cam Dance here as they go down the Kemmel Straight. They're 3 wide. Cam's very close to Silas Craig Vrolik. Sam Bentham's able to run away with this at the front while all this is going on. That's Alex Johnson around the outside of Cam Dance. Nice stuff. They need to keep it very tidy through here. We'll go to the chopper cam so you get an idea of just how close they all are to one another. Nearly 3 wide now as they go down towards Bruchet. Some of them get out of it. I think that was Silas Craig Vrolik thinking better of. Alex Johnson still side by side with Cam Dance, but Cam gets through. He goes up a position, runs wide on the exit as they go through what was known as No Name is now Speaker's Corner, because apparently that's where one of the commentary boxes is on the circuit. It's a shame again to have another first lap, first corner incident, but it just seemed like some of the drivers were braking very early to avoid trouble and others weren't expecting it and went straight into the back of them. This is on board with Mats Gestrom back in 7th place. He started 6th on the grid. White Van Gaming. Ah, yes, I remember this championship. Of course. So Simon Price and Lasse Sorensen. Well, Lasse's on his way out of the pit lane. So he's on track as, oh no, we've had an issue for Jakub Szymanski, who's off and in the wall. He's got damage. Tries to recover. Mark Redford going past him. And who's that in there as well? Ed May, that is. He's getting going. We'll have to have a look back at the start, though, and try and figure out what happened. Oh, it looks like Ben Hoffman's just had a problem. So this is Ed May. He's got his teammate in front of him. Ed gets a great launch. Oh, Simon just tries to get out of the way of the stationary-ish car in front. And Ed's trying to plough on through on the right-hand side and suddenly whacks into him. Now Jack Johns, despite being spun in the way that he was, is back up. He's actually gained a place from the start of the race. So he's braking. Oh, he gets tipped by John Roberts and then hit another car and then hit again. I think the other car involved was Mark Redford, actually. And somehow, Jack Johns, as of right now, is a position ahead of where he started this race, in 10th position. That's just the up and down nature of this championship. It's what we've seen so far, and it's what you can expect to see as the season goes on. Just having a look and seeing what happened a bit further back, because Mark Redford and Jakub Szymanski both went off. Oh, Jakub just gives him a tap. And then I think Jakub... Oh, he got hit by somebody else, actually. So Jakub just taps the back of Mark, comes back across. Oh, he loses it and bounces off Mark's teammate, Martin Kenyon. Ed May is now off the road on the exit of Les Carmen Malmedy. But we move back to the front of the field where Sam Bentham leads this race. Sam Bentham leading at Spa Francorchamps. Don't think Sam has a race win to his name yet this season. No, he finished 3rd. He's had 1 podium, and that was in race 2 at Silverstone. And since then, he has not been in the top 3. Lennart Schneebel 2nd, Cam Dance 3rd, and Alex Johnson, who started on the front row of the grid, is down to 4th position. He's got Tim Perry right behind him, waiting in the wings, hoping to make a move. Look how close they are together. There's a bit of a wiggle there. Fastest lap of the race now for Sam Bentham as well, so he's certainly not just holding on to the front spot, he's disappearing up the road with it. And we had Ben Hoffman off the road not long ago as well, actually. He was overtaken by a number of drivers. Oh no, don't you worry, Duncan. Even with practice, these cars are a nightmare in a race scenario. It's so difficult to drive. Oh, Ben just has an innocent spin at the final chicane. It's very easy to do. There's been a number of drivers all go off in the same moment here. This is Ed May having a bit of a minute through Malmedy. Whoa! Oh, and he's hit the left rear along the wall. I think that's what's broken it. We've had Jalberio Garcia go off for Team Kabuto. Oh, he's just locked the rear. Turning in. And he gets the car off the circuit nice and quickly. Good thinking. Now this is Mats Gestrombakken. Behind him there, tucked underneath the rear wing, is Silas Kragh-Vrolik for GFA Racing. These two started 6th and 7th in the race, and they currently run there as well. They've not moved up or down the order. Apparently Simon Price has had an off in 23rd position. And he has unfortunately dropped right down now and is back into the pits. And Silas Kragh-Vrolik right now all over the back of Mats Gestrombakken. David, good to see you, mate. Oh, don't worry, I'm not too worried about Twitch viewers, to be honest with you. I barely ever have any on these sorts of streams. It's only whenever I'm playing games that I tend to stream directly to Twitch. But I'm YouTube partner, I don't need to worry about that. Oh, hey, Silas Kragh-Vrolik round the outside of Mats Gestrombakken. At Blanchimont as well, of all places. Great respect by Mats to give him the room. And now the Norwegian needs to tuck back up behind Silas and try and get in the slipstream. Whoa, can't get in the slipstream of that though. Big wobble. I've actually just had an email that I've had a new Twitch follower, Charlie Katana, thank you very much. First time that's happened in a while. Now watch the slipstream here from Mats Gestrombakken as he chases down Silas Kragh-Vrolik as they come up a Rouge, over the top at Radion. Look at the closing speed there. Doesn't even have to wait to the actual Kemmel straight. He's already gone past him. He'll be there somewhere, there he is. Straight back in the slipstream, and then he suddenly gets a massive overspeed from it as well. Look at that. I've never seen slipstream that strong that you can get overtaken and then re-overtake again before the chicane. That's incredible. But that's just part of what keeps this championship alive and keeps it fun for everybody. And John Bailiff and Kevin Zemstra are having a ding-dong a bit further down. Jack Johns is ahead of them. Car 22 against car 88. Very close to contact, but Kevin's through. Kevin started this race 18th, don't forget, because he didn't put a valid lap time in during qualifying. He's the biggest mover in the field so far, and he's going to want to keep it that way as well. He's now got to try and get past the man that kept picking him as race winner in the CDM Formula 1 World Championship, and every time he did, Kevin crashed. Jack Johns will be hoping for no curses this time round. Tim Perry's had a minute. He's still in 5th position, but he's been off the road for just a moment by the look of it. Look again at that closing speed. Kevin Zemstra is going to make life difficult now for Jack Johns. Is in the background. Ben Hoffman trying to get past John Bailiff as well. These two side by side. Oh, they're so close to making contact there. Kevin round the outside. Oh, there was big net code. How is Kevin still on the road? How on earth is Kevin still on the road? Oh, there's contact there with John Bailiff as he understeers wide. Oh no, John just lost it. We'll have a look back at this. Just watch the car on the right in front of us there. Kevin just suddenly, the car went completely sideways. Oh, big net code. What a save. And then we'll go on board now with John Bailiff and we'll catch what happened here. So he goes down the inside of Ben Hoffman. Oh, Kevin just understeers a bit wide. Oh, John's on the AstroTurf. Good avoidance there by Rob Lundgren behind them. And I think Kevin and John both got going again. Kevin did. Yeah, John did as well. He's a second and a half ahead. As no, Silas Kragh-Vrolik is off the road. Spins the car around ahead of the field. Gets back on with it. It's interesting to note as well that the two championship protagonists at the moment, which are Alex Johnson and Cam Dance, are only half a second apart. Cam Dance second in the championship to Alex by only 3 points at the moment. And in this championship, you get 15 points for winning a race, 14 for second, and then 13 for third. The top 15 drivers get points. 1 point difference per position. So it's all very close all the time. So you don't get a massive bonus or boost for finishing in first place. webcam dance now, very much tucked in behind these two Alcantech NHR and Alcantech Nyman machines. It's interesting, actually. I was just trying to find where the pole position points were, but for some reason I was looking at rounds 3 and 4 when you don't get points for going on pole. As Silas is over there somewhere. Rob Lundgren has overtaken Silas. Oh, he's just had a moment on the brakes. Goes for a little Sunday drive and jumps back on. And now he's only just finished serving what is going to be a mammoth of a slowdown penalty as well. Unfortunately for him. You don't get away with those, I'm afraid. Great drive so far by Sam Bentham. He's doing everything he needs to do. He jumped into the CDM Formula 1 World Championship right at the end of the season at Suzuka in the last round. And he was so impressive with his teammate Tim Perry for Prost. Oh no, we had Silas off the road and he's out of the race. Jakub Szymanski has been off as well. Wow, there was just a big influx of cars off the road there. This is what happened to Lasse Sorensen. Oh, he's off and into the barriers. And then Silas, after finishing serving his slowdown penalty. Oh no. Ah, that's a big old accident that for Silas. And that is unfortunately the end of his race. Jakob's just had a moment or two coming out of the final chicane. And then Michael Jones has had an off as well. This is into Les Combes, just a little bit too quick into there. Oh, and gets on the throttle a bit early through the left-hander and into the barrier. Again, it just highlights how difficult these cars are to drive. There's always a lot going on in this championship. Survival is key. The thing is, though, if you are one of the drivers that's normally a bit further down the order and you survive one hectic race and you score a big bunch of points, it can absolutely catapult you up the championship order very easily. Ben Gregory now under attack from Jack Johns, who throws it up the inside into La Source. Lovely move. Ben Hoffman's now going to try and have a go at Mr. Gregory, but the three of them are all going to be glued together down the Kemmel Straight. The slipstream from Jack Johns at the front of this is going to be absolutely massive. Look at that. Gregory tries to go to the right. There's nothing doing there, and bye-bye. Oh, my goodness me. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness me, indeed. Oh, what on earth happened there? Ben Hoffman was round the outside of both drivers. Gregory was off the road, basically, making the move, and Jack moved to the left to give the room, and unfortunately it meant contact with Ben Hoffman. Man, that was rough. But again, you survive the race, you score the points. And these two right now are battling over the final championship point position. Jalbrio Garcia and Martin Kenyon. Jalbrio goes through for Team Kabuto. Martin gets a bit more overspeed though, tries to go later on the brakes into Les Combes. Nearly runs into the Spaniard. And Jack Johns is still trying to drag that car back. Not quite sure why. It's more of a danger to everybody than anything else. These cars are hard to drive when they do behave, and when they're not going in a straight line, it's even worse. Just got to hope that he doesn't spoil anybody else's race with any spins or incidents. Lennart Schneebel's had a spin now. Lennart from second place, and oh no, Tim Perry's joined him. Tim Perry in the boosted motorsport car joins Lennart Schneebel in having a spin, and Mats Gestrom back in. Well, he says thanks very much. I'll take that. And through he goes. Now John Roberts is just behind his teammate Toby Ward. This is the boosted only John's car chasing down boosted Simsport. But again, John is on for points if he finishes here. And that's what it is all about. Jack Johns is still trying to get that car back. You do get a fast repair So if he can get it repaired and then survive the rest of the race and overtake any other stragglers, then why not? This is the battle for second though. Cam Dance now behind Alex Jonsson. Kevin Zemstra has been into the pits and is coming back out again. It's been a very clean race so far for Rob Lundgren, by the way, who's gained 6 spots at the moment. John Roberts has gained 8. Toby Ward has gained 6. We'll show you that on the left-hand side of the screen. No, I forgot I haven't changed the colour of that, I'm afraid. The 7 places gained for Ed May. Jalbrio Garcia is the biggest mover in the field right now. He's gained 9 places from where he started. Ben in the chat, good to see you, mate. Hope you're alright after that one. And unfortunately, it was just the tiniest touch of contact, wasn't it, Ben? But that's just how these things happen. Jack just tried to give room to Ben on the inside, and yeah, unfortunately, 3 into 1 didn't go that time round. Alex Jonsson's going to be watching his mirrors right now, though, because Cam Dance is getting closer and closer every moment. And you know that when Cam gets close enough, you don't have to tell him twice to try and go for a move. He's going to have a lot of slipstream now in the very shiny Orbit Motorsport car. Let's see what this is like now as he goes up through Eau Rouge and then Radeon. Listen to the racket. Look at the speed now. Not quite close enough to use all of that slipstream. Look how late he is on the brakes, though. Using all the curb as well, which is brave in itself as well. No, John Roberts has had a little spin on the exit of La Source. Looks like the car's okay. He's lost just a pair of incidents. A pair of positions, I should say. Martin Kenyon has been overtaken by Kevin Zemstra. As I said, Kevin gets back out on track and overtakes a couple of cars. He can still get a championship point from this. He's going to be on for 2 if he finishes in 14th position. He's got Jalbrio Garcia not far ahead, who still has 9 places gained. Good drive by Toby Ward as well. He's gained 7 spots, and despite his earlier issues, Ed May has gained 7 places. Started 19th on the grid, currently up in 12th. We've only got 4 retirements so far. Ben Hoffman still has Craig Vrolick, Lasse Sorensen and Simon Price. And I had to bring Ed to everybody's attention, didn't I? But he's got back going again. Doesn't look like he's going to imminently lose a position. Just needs to be careful now with the temperature of the tyres. Where's Mats Gestrom back in all of this? He's a little bit on his own right now, is Mats. But he won't mind that because it'll be some more championship points. The 11 for his tally. Sam Bentham might actually be the first driver to win a race from pole position this season. At least in the first race. Although I say that, and all of a sudden Sam has lost a bucket load of time to Alex Jonsson. So maybe there's the curse. Alex now, championship leader, right behind Sam Bentham of Boosted Motorsport. Alex is surely going to wait until the final lap if he's going to have a go. He's not going to bother overtaking him now, knowing the amount of slipstreaming that they've still got left to do. He'll probably wait until Blanchimont on the final lap, so even an entire lap from now he might still be in second place, but he needs to think about the fact that Cam Dance is going to be watching from behind, and he's going to try and take his opportunity as well. Now the blinking in and out by Sam Bentham isn't going to do them any favours. Love watching the way these cars dance around this circuit. You can see Cam just precise with his inputs, nice and smooth. He races in a disused bathtub, does Cam Dance. Not the most comfortable thing. But he's managed to mount his wheel to the side of it and turn it into a racing rig. No, I'm joking. I've seen him on his webcam once and it just looked like he was in a bath. And I've never let him live it down. Now Ed May holding off Jabril Garcia, and Kevin Zemstra is involved in this as well for Alcantec NHR. Goes down the inside on the brakes. Jabril just sees him coming at the last moment. And through goes Kevin Zemstra. But the race leaders now are on to the final lap, and they've got traffic in front of them as well. That is Ben Gregory for Boosted Simsport. Now Ben is surely going to want to help his stablemate Sam Bentham, especially as these two are starting to have a bit of a scrap behind as well. Cam Dance now all over the back of Alex Johnson. God, it's noisy here. Now look at this, they're trying to work together just to catch back up with Sam Bentham, because any little battling they've done might have lost it for them. Ben Gregory moves out of the way of Sam, moves out of the way of all of them. Great stuff by Ben Gregory, really respectful stuff. Now Sam needs to just keep it tidy for the rest of this lap. Needs to not push the car too hard. He's doing a great job so far. This battle for second, though, between the top two in the championship is where it's at. Alex Johnson doing everything he can to go chasing after the race leader, while Cam Dance tries to just grab a few points back off him in the title race. And don't forget, this is only the third race meeting out of 8 this season, so we're still well inside the first half of the season. Hope you've been enjoying the championship so far. Don't forget to, of course, subscribe to the channel as well, where you can. Follow on Twitch, Facebook, even on Twitter as well, if you like, and Instagram. Sam Bentham now is about to come around the final couple of corners, and he's well on his way to win the 5th round of the championship. Not sure he'll do that from 15th on the grid, though. Of course, there's a reverse grid for race 2. But into the final corner, no! Cam Dance hits the back of Alex Johnson, who hits Sam Bentham. Now, what are they going to get in terms of slowdown penalties? Because Sam's car's not behaving itself. Is Lennart Schneebel going to cross the line and win? Sam Bentham takes the checkered flag. It wasn't Lennart Schneebel, it was Cam Dance who finished second. Alex Johnson was third. Lennart Schneebel was 4th. What on earth? Mats Gestrumbacken finishes 5th ahead of Tim Perry. Rob Lundgren has made 6 places up so far. And he's going to finish in 7th. It's going to be a solid result for Rob. Very well done indeed. I think that might be his first points of the season. It is. That's his first points for Rob this season. Very well done, Rob. Lovely stuff. The Swede from Team Superior doing an excellent job. Let's just have a look back, though, at whatever the hell happened at the end. So Cam just snookerballed Alex Johnson into the 2 cars ahead. I'm really not sure how it all came about. So Cam goes to the right. Oh, he's just... Yeah, well, both of them went over to the right at the same time, to be fair. It wasn't really a later move by one more than the other. But that is remarkable. Absolutely. Martin Kenyon crosses the line in 14th place, and Jakub Szymanski is going to take the final points position. But my word. My word. Don't know what to think of that. Sam Bentham takes the win on the road at least. But we now need to pick that apart. Boy. And see what that means in the actual results. We're still waiting for... Oh, there's still a couple of cars to finish, actually. Jack Johns did finish the race, but just outside of the points. And Michael Jones is about to come into the final couple of corners as well. And he will complete, I should say, round 5 of the CDM Formula Renault 3.5 Championship. We'll have a 10-minute warm-up session following this, but we can now have a quick look over the race results. And let's have a look then at how that has affected things, because it could have moved people down the order if they didn't serve a penalty. No, it hasn't. So Sam Bentham takes his first win of the season from pole position as well. He's the first driver to do that this season. Very well done, Sam. Cam Dance finished in 2nd place. Alex Johnson finished in 3rd. Lennart Schneebel was classified 4th. with Mats Gestenbakken in 5th, missing all the action just near the end. Then it was Tim Perry and Rob Lundgren. Toby Ward finished in 8th ahead of John Bailiff and John Roberts, who rounded out the top 10. Then it was Mark Redford, who got some points in 11th ahead of Kevin Zemstra, who recovered to 12th. Jalbrio Garcia, great drive from him, puts him 13th. He's ahead of Martin Kenyon and Jakob Schmancy, who gets the last points spot. Jack Johns finished 16th, Michael Jones 17th. Ed May eventually finished in 18th position and ended up outside of the points, despite what I was telling you before. Ben Gregory was 1 lap down, and then the drivers that didn't finish: Ben Hoffman, Silas Craig Frolic, Lasse Sorensen and Simon Price. Well, that was certainly lively, wasn't it, everybody? Very, very lively indeed. I'm just going to take a quick break here on Chaz Draycott Media. I'm going to get the cameras to do their thing, so they will look at some of the cars for you automatically, or they should do if they're any good. It's not listening to me at the moment when I tell it to look at cars. There you go. We've got a 10-minute warm-up session now. I'm just going to take a couple of minutes break, everybody, and I will be right back with you here on Chaz Draycott Media for round 6 of the CDM Formula Renault 3.5 Championship. Don't go away. Hello everybody, Chaz Draycott here for the CDM Formula Renault 3.5 Championship from Spa-Francorchamps. This is the first season of this wonderful championship with these incredible cars and a wonderful grid of people as well. We have a fantastic arrangement of drivers here, a great community behind the scenes as well, and hopefully a great community in the chat as well. Hope you're all enjoying the show so far. We've just seen Sam Bentham take the win in round 5 of the championship after a very dramatic finale there with Alex Johnson and Cam Dance as well, the two championship protagonists coming together at the final corner, and Cam Dance eventually being classified ahead. But we're now in warm-up ahead of round 6 of the championship. It's a 16-round season. This week we are at Spa-Francorchamps. Next week we're at Hockenheim. Then it's Hungaroring, Monza, Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, and then Red Bull Ring. And it's going to be a wonderful ride throughout Europe at some of the finest circuits in the world. And I hope that you'll join me and everybody else in the championship along for the ride as well. The drivers now just getting used to the current track conditions. There can sometimes be some subtle changes between the first race and warm-up, and then the second race as well. So drivers just use it to get into a bit more of a rhythm, just push the car that extra bit more, and ensure that everything is dialed in exactly as they want it. Mats Gestrand back and does a 2:03.6. Ben Hoffman currently fastest in warm-up though, as a couple more cars are getting out there and doing laps, while Silas Kragvrolic gets some much needed practice in for his donuts. He's getting his practice in for when he potentially wins this second race, I guess, because he retired from that first race, so he's going to be starting right near the back of the grid. The top 15 get reversed into the second race, so if we look at the result once again, it's going to be Jakub Szymanski on pole position for Alcantech Nyman Racing alongside his mate Martin Kenyon, then Jalbrio Garcia and Kevin Zemstra row 2. You'd definitely put your money on Kevin for this second race, wouldn't you? No offence to the guys in front, but we just know how quick Kevin is. Coming into this race meeting tonight, Kevin was 9th in the championship with 1 podium to his name, 23 championship points to the 48 of his teammate Alex Johnson, who's currently the head of the pack. And yet more donuts from Silas. Apparently Ben Gregory was saying he was happily going along on the right hand side of the circuit, and then all of a sudden he was in the pits. The 3 guys that were involved in that incident are all seeing the light side of things, which is lovely. Jack Johns has apologised, but to be honest, all 3 of them just sort of culminated together into one car in the end, didn't they? But that's what I mean, it's a good community behind it also. They're all able to see the funny side of it. They all know that this is a championship that is very much for entertainment and for fun. As now, the drivers will all suddenly disappear off the circuit, and it will go quiet once more. Ice Shard 989 saying Silas is clearly overconfident in his race 2 result. Yeah, he's a little bit confident. So it's the top 15 on the grid reversed. We won't go through the full thing, but you can see it's Jakub Szymanski and Martin Kenyon on the front row, Jalbrio Garcia and Kevin Zemstra on row 2, Mark Redford and John Roberts will make up row 3. We'll filter through the rest of the grid for you there so you can see where your favourite drivers are and see who you might have your money on for this one. I do not have a clue who I'd put my money on other than Kevin Zemstra, to be honest with you, starting 4th on the grid. He's not got far to go forwards here to take this win. But it's never easy in these cars. If you do overdo it and you do push that little bit too hard, you can definitely make a big mistake. Let's see who can make the most of this start then and gain the most places in the early stages, shall we? It's Jakub Szymanski on pole for Alcantech Nyman Racing. The last car slots onto the grid now. That's Alex Johnson starting right with Cam Dance in the middle. The lights are coming on, and round 6 of the CDM Formula Renault 3.5 Championship from Spa. Well, It's go for some of them. Oh, there's more contact at the back again. And no, already Mark Redford's put into the wall. And already Jakub Szymanski's in the wall. What is going on? Straight on into turn 1 goes Sam Bentham. And Kevin Zemstra leads the race. He's got Martin Kenyon next to him. Chaos at the start. I think Ben Hoffman just got going. He didn't put his clutch pedal in at all. And all of a sudden the car went forwards into Ed May. Oh, my goodness me. Martin Kenyon with a massive accident. And some cars have gone into him at the top of the hill. Well, Martin just turned into the side of Kevin Zemstra by the look of it. Kevin's lost out in the meantime. Tim Perry started this race 10th on the grid and leads into Lecom. Can you believe it? John Bailiff second has gained 5 spots. Kevin Zemstra has gained 3. And Ed May has been pile driven across the line and unfortunately got a jump start. Mate, what a chaotic start once again. I do tell you all the time, though, these things are not easy to get off the line. They're not easy to handle at the best of times. Martin Kenyon needs to drag that thing back to the pits because it is destroyed. Alex Johnson's gained 8 places. 6 places gained for... Actually, no. 7 places gained for Cam Dance. 6 places gained for Lennart Schneebel, but they're all battling away. John Roberts is in the middle of this as well. Wow, round the outside goes Alex Johnson. Commanding move there. And all the while behind them, Mats Gestrenbacken's watching. And who's that off? That's John Bailiff. No, John's had a spin for Pulsar Esports. And Silas is in the pits. I didn't see Silas get collected in the earlier mayhem. Not quite sure. Ah, it was, yeah. Silas was involved at the very start. Look at this, though, going on the right-hand side here. It's like NASCAR. There's 2 racing lines to pick from. John Roberts has got a great view of all of it. The Alcantech cars all try not to trip over each other. Into the pits goes Kevin Zemstra. And now Ed is apparently going to go on Fortnite. God, I thought Unite couldn't get any worse, Ed. Lasse Sorensen now trying to make his way through the pack nice and safely. He's gained 14 places. Alex Johnson's gained 11 and Cam Dance has gained 10. Unbelievable. Definitely Alcan Wreck Will. Good to see you, Mr. Redford, in the chat. Will along, I'm sure, to cheer his dad on. As here comes Mats Gestrenbacken moving to the right-hand side of John Roberts. He makes his way through, and in the background there'll be a 3-wide scenario as Lasse Sorensen and Jack Johns both come past John Roberts as well. Now the 2 IGL Coatings E-Racing's car are together. All my homies hate Alcantech. Tim Perry, though, leading the way for Boosted Motorsport. Tim has 1 podium to his name so far this season. Oh, John Bailiff's off again. Nearly gets the car beached on the inside of Lecom. Let's have a look at the start then. This is what happened to Ben Hoffman. So he just got going and just drove into Ed. And then how did Silas get involved in all this? Oh, cars just didn't move in front of him. And Silas batters into the back of... That's Ben Gregory, isn't it? Ben eventually gets moving. Barney's encouraging them to go. Let's have a look at that accident for Martin Kenyon. So he's going up the hill. You've got Kevin on the right. Oh, he suddenly gets a bucket load of grip. And he does get hit by another car there, and I'm pretty sure it was Toby Ward that he hit. We'll have to watch it, though, from on board with Tim Perry, because Tim gained so many places off this start. Started 10th on the grid. Gets a great launch. Gets past Toby Ward and the other car that was on the right. There's an incident on his right-hand side. That was Redford getting turned around. Didn't catch who that was. Jakub Szymanski went flying off to the left. And Tim suddenly finds himself in 5th position, now probably 4th, moving ahead of the car that was on his left-hand side. And you'll see the incident just in front as Kenyon suddenly gets a load of grip, bounces off. He's very lucky not to get hit. And then he just sweeps past John Bailiff and Kevin Zemstra around the outside. Amazing. And John Bailiff has been off the circuit again, I'm afraid. And has now gone back to the pits. A lap later, he's gone off at Lecom again, in a bit too quickly. And I think that is where he's going to call it a night. Oh, no, this is where we caught him before, actually. Oh, it doesn't. It hasn't gone back to the pits. My apologies. Thought for a second there it said he'd gone back to the pits. Let's have a quick recap then. We've got Tim Perry leading the way, Alex Johnson in second, which is amazing. Lennart Schneebel third, and then Cam Dance in fourth. Mats Gestrand back in fifth. Lasse Sorensen has gained 16 places to be in sixth. Jack Johns has gained 9 places to be seventh. And then further back we've got Sam Bentham making his way through the field. He's ahead of Rob Lundgren for Team Superior. Then Jalberio Garcia still holding on to a point-scoring position. Simon Price is just ahead of Michael Jones. Michael for Team Rewind Racing and Spontex CDM Esports, the stable of Simon Price. As down the inside goes Michael at Pouon, or Double Gorge as it's now called. And through he goes into Piff Paff, the Fania chicane, the right then the left. Carrying a little bit more speed, a little bit too much speed, and through and into the wall. Michael Jones, a big hit into the barrier. The nose cone removes itself temporarily and then pops itself back on. Well, that was a whack into the barrier. Start line carnage, says Aidan. Maybe iRacing needs standing start formation laps. It does. It's one of my favourite things about, well, one of the only things I like about R-Factor is that you have manual formation laps that you have to drive yourself. I just don't think they could trust everybody to get it right. Definitely mixed fortunes for Spontex CDM Esports this evening. The two cars come together off the line in the first race, and then in the second race Ed gets battered again. Now here are the two IGL Coatings e-racing cars swapping position. Lasse Sorensen now moving ahead of his teammate Mats Gestrand. Further ahead, Lennart Schneebel is under attack from Cam Dance as well. Let's have a look at the podium count so far. Cam Dance has got 2 podiums so far this season. Lennart Schneebel will have 1 podium coming into this race. And Alex Johnson, well, he'll be on 3 podiums now. John Tusting saying it looks like he picked a good week to be ill. Yeah, maybe. Sam Bentham has apparently had an off. Oh, out the final corner. Clips the Astro. Oh, and that's actually a big hit into the barrier. That's a concrete wall that he's hit there. And that car is going to feel like absolute backside for the rest of the race. So safe to say Alcantech are doing well when it comes to the team standings at the moment. It was Alcantech NHR leading the championship coming into this, and Alex Johnson, he's doing the job so far to win the team plenty of points in the long run. And right now it's Tim Perry for not quite Alfa Romeo, Sauber, Audi, whatever team they're going to be in the near future, that is leading this race. Behind them, well, there's been a bit of a switch around as Lennart Schneebel goes up into second ahead of his teammate Alex Johnson. And Cam Dance has to just sit behind and wait for an opportunity again. He's going to be fed up. I was going to say he's going to be fed up at looking at Alcantech rear wings, but then again, in this championship, all of the cars have the same rear wing, which is the CDM Formula Renault 3.5 championship logo on the back, with the white and blue stripes. Now look at the closing speed here from Cam. Flying up to the back, 270 k's behind Lennart Schneebel, gets hard onto the brakes, doesn't go for a move just yet. He's clearly biding his time. It's difficult to see at the moment, isn't it, as well? It's to the point where the sun hasn't set as such, but the sun has gone down, and oh no. Oh, both of the IGL Coatings e-racing cars are off. Lasse Sorensen gets going again. Mats Gestrand has to wait, but both of them have gone off the road. What's happened here? Oh no, Mats has lost it on the exit, and Lasse has hit the back of his teammate. Lasse Sorensen has even jumped to the pits. Has he had another off here when he gets down to the bottom of the hill? That's exactly what happened to him in the first race, and yeah, he's pulled it over, and that's that. Unreal. Still, it's going to be no points for Lasse Sorensen this season. Jack Johns is apparently asking Ben Gregory how he got so good at jumping starts, because apparently his starts are completely electric. He's going to be asking Rob Lundgren if he can go away in a moment as well, because this is Rob Lundgren all over the back of Jack Johns for Pulsar Esports. Rob having a fantastic evening so far. Started this race 9th on the grid after finishing in 6th place, or 7th place in the first race. He's now moved up into 6th. He's gained 3 places from where he started. Jack Johns back down the inside though for Pulsar. Jack's very good on the brakes. He's good. He loves a lunge down the inside. But then Rob gets him back. But Jack's on a wider line out the final corner, so he gets a better run on the exit. Look at the acceleration of these things. It's just insane, isn't it? Absolutely insane. And Rob has really improved a lot, says Jakob. You're absolutely right, my friend. He's really come on strong. Across the line he goes. Across the line, sorry. Past Jack Johns he goes. I suppose you could say he's gone past the racing line. Now the race lead has changed. Tim Perry has lost the lead to Lennart Schneebel. And he's done it up Eau Rouge and Raidillon. Very close between the two. It's quite frustrating how much that Alfa Romeo livery looks Alcantech-like. Oh, Jack was close to the back of Rob's car there. Two of them very close to making contact. Jack's just trying to squeeze him out of every inch of room that he's got, and he's down the inside at double gauche. And through. Lennart Schneebel and Alex Jonsson, by the way. 1-2 for Alcantech, but this is Alcantech Nyman Racing ahead of Alcantech NHR. So they're not technically in the same team. And they're going to maybe work together now to get away from this man, Tim Perry, for Boosted Motorsport. Cam Dance has dropped off a little bit. Doesn't seem to be able to stick quite with them at the moment, at the minute, I should say. Can't get my words out tonight. I really do apologise. Struggling quite a lot. Now Rob Lundgren still attacking Jack Johns. This is Kevin Zemstra going around the outside of Jalbrio Garcia. Kevin just chasing more championship points now. That's what it's all about. As Mats Gestrembakken has been overtaken by John Bailiff. John goes through into the final chicane. He's on a mission now as well as John. Behind that, Ben Gregory and Simon Price. A bit close together as well. Simon's gained 10 places so far. He's nearly the biggest mover in the field, and he's up into a point-scoring position. And they will be his first championship points as well. For the Spontex CDM Esports driver. Just needs to keep it nice and tidy. He's got 14 seconds over Sam Bentham and only a couple of laps left to go. Toby Ward is still on track in the final point-scoring position at the minute. And then we've got a battle between Michael Jones and Martin Kenyon for 16th and 17th, unfortunately outside of his point-scoring positions. Here's your race leader, Lennart Schneebel. Going very, very well indeed. Just listen to that 3.5 litre V8. What a racket. I love it. It's something that's not going to get boring over the course of the season. It certainly hasn't got boring yet. John Roberts, by the way, he started this race in 6th. He's moved up 1 spot into a top 5 position. He's on for some very solid points right now. The midfield, or at least the points outside of the top 10, are an absolute wash of British drivers. And I had to say it. I had to say anything about John Roberts, didn't I? There's the commentator's curse for you. Oh, the back end just coming around gradually. He does save it, but oh my goodness, that's a big old hit into the wall. I'd be surprised to see him completely finish the race without having to come in the pits, you know. He might get what's known as a meatball flag when the car is too damaged, and it might tell him to come in. It might not look that bad, but these open wheelers are very fragile, and no, he's carrying on, which is good. I'm glad to see that. It's a massive shame for John Roberts, though, to lose that many places in that much time. Jalbrio Garcia is inside the top 10 as well. He's on for some strong points if he keeps it on the road, but we're not going to talk about that because he'll probably go and crash now that I've said that all he needs to do is keep it on the road. Lennart Schneebel hasn't scored a race win yet this season. Alex Johnson has had one. No drivers won 2 races yet this year. I say this year, there's only been 4 races. But Alcantech certainly looking dominant at the moment. Tim Perry looking very quick, just like he did at Silverstone at the start of the season. He's on 28 points, 20 behind championship leader Alex Johnson, who is also ahead of him on track. Alex lost a couple of points to Cam Dance in that first race when the results sorted themselves out. But now he's going to gain them back in this second encounter of the night. We've got 3 laps to go after this one. And while the racing may have not been the cleanest or the most straightforward again this evening, we do hope you've enjoyed it. A lot of time and effort goes into putting these streams on and this event on and this championship. So I really do hope that you are enjoying it. Look at the speed of these things around Blanchimont. Terrifyingly fast on a high downforce setup, these cars. We run a high downforce setup just so it's slightly easier to drive for these guys at high speed, because when you are in these cars on the low downforce setup, they just want to kill you everywhere. Even on the medium downforce setup, they want to kill you everywhere as well. There's one hell of a wobble out of the final corner for Alex Johnson, wasn't there? He managed to keep it all together. Jack Johns is now up into 5th place. He is tied biggest mover in the field. He's gained 11 places in this race, but he's only 1.6 seconds ahead of Kevin Zemstra. Started 4th on the grid, of course, had the incident near the start as the lead changes hands. Alex Johnson going past Lennart Schneebel. And Lenny moves over to one side and lets his teammate through. Now, I wonder whether he's going to swap back at the end of the race, and that was just to make sure that they can continue to move forward in a pair away from Tim Perry, just to break that slipstream further. Or whether that is to give Alex Johnson his 2nd win of the season. And, of course, the extra championship point that comes with that added position. You can get 1 championship point per race meeting for qualifying on pole. That's gone the way of Sam Bentham tonight. But the only other way you score points is with your race results, and there's only 1 point different between these two. And that could be all the difference at the end of the season, so that's probably why Lenny has moved over. A little bit further down the order, this is John Bailiff. He's making his way back through the pack. He's now closing in on Jalbrio Garcia through Double Gorge. Lovely sunset with all of the cloud there behind the trees. John's just got to be patient here. It's frightening when there is such a pace difference in these cars that it's like they're going to reverse and come at you when you stamp on the brakes, or if someone gets on the brakes earlier than you expect them to. This is where John will get the move done now in the slipstream of the Team Cabuto car. Jalbrio is the only Spanish driver in the field tonight. There's normally 2 teams, Team Mazinger and Team Cabuto, but there's only one of their cars out there tonight, and that is a lovely move by John Bailiff around the outside of Blanchimont. Great respect and space given by Garcia. Nice stuff by John. Mats Gestrandbacken's not too far off them either, so he could be eyeing up a top 10 as well now if he can get past Garcia. But back to the front, the 2 Alcantech cars once again stuck together, but not swapping position this time round. Was a bit of a blink in and out there by Lenny. That won't go down well. And Jack Johns is now under pressure from Kevin Zemstra. Now Jack and Kevin have wanted to fight each other on track for so long, after Jack kept saying in Formula 1 that he expected Kevin to win the race. And Kevin goes through on the left hand side. Jack tries to go later on the brakes into Laycom, doesn't work for him. And Kevin moves up into 5th place. John Bailiff and Jalbrio Garcia are side by side as well. John goes through into 9th after nearly losing the place again to Garcia, actually. See, it's amazing how quickly he can forget things in a race like this. So much going on. So Tim Perry's third, Cam Dance is in fourth, Kevin Zemstra's fifth, Jack Johns is sixth, Rob Lundgren, after starting ninth, has moved up into seventh. John Roberts is eighth. He's still going at a decent pace. His last lap was half a second slower. Sorry, 6/10 slower than John Bailiff behind him. He's only got one more lap to do to hold on to said pace. Ben Gregory is closing in on Mats Gestrumbacken as well. I'm wondering whether Mats has got some damage from that earlier spin into the wall that he had. Alex Jonsson has started the final lap of the race, though, for Alcantech NHR with his teammate Lenny Schneebel behind him. But that's Alcantech Nyman Racing, so in this championship they're not technically in the same team. But what a great job they've done. What a great job Alex has done as well. He may have had a lot to do with that incident earlier, but he's bounced back from it. Ben Gregory there getting ahead of Mats Gestrumback, and Mats has definitely got damage. The Norwegian not able to defend. Sam Bentham and Simon Price also swapping places. Simon now down to 14th, but that's still 2 championship points if he finishes there. Now let's go back up to the front and see, because no, there is no swapping of positions between these two teammates. I think that Alex is going to be the race winner. I don't think Lenny's going to take that position back. And if he does take it back, he's going to do it right near the end at Blanchimont or in the final corner. And oh no, Garcia. Garcia's had an issue and lost a couple of places. Oh, he just hits the curb and the car spins. And he loses a place to Ben Gregory and then Mats Gestrumbacken. And oh no, Jack Johns has had an off, fighting with Kevin Zemstra. I think he might have had a slowdown penalty or something across the chicane. And Kevin is now back in front and into P5. Still, it's going to be good points for Jack. He started 16th on the grid as well. So I'm sure he'll be happy with just finishing outside the top 5. Zemstra did a purple final sector on that last lap as well. Only 3 more corners to go for Alex Jonsson. He's got his teammate Lenny Schneebel right up behind him. Is he going to move over and let him through? It looks like he is. Down the inside goes Germany's Lennart Schneebel. And the Alcantech Nyman Racing driver is going to take the win in round 6 of the CDM Formula Renault 3.5 Championship. Alex Jonsson finished his second to help his championship campaign massively. And Tim Perry gets his second podium of the season. Cam Dance finishes 4th with 10 places gained. And this is the battle to the end. Jack Johns has just got ahead of Kevin Zemstra coming into the final chicane. Jack's going to defend the inside line. Kevin pulls up right behind him. Tries to carry a bit more speed into the corner. Jack overshoots the first part of it. He's going to run wide and Zemstra's going to be on the outside. There's contact and more contact and Zemstra's in the wall. Oh, Kevin's in the barrier. He's trying to reverse the car across the line. Where's Rob Lundgren in this? Rob's going to see him going backwards. I think Rob's going to just know it doesn't be him. Kevin Zemstra with the best finish I've seen in ages. Amazing. Rob Lundgren, though, what a drive to finish in 7th. John Bailiff finishes 8th ahead of John Roberts, Ben Gregory, Mats Gestrumback, and Sam Bentham is ahead of Jalbrio Garcia. But Lenny Schneebel, well, they're saying, look, Stilas, this is your spot for doing all your donuts. Alex Jonsson doing the donuts right now here at Spa. And that was one hell of an evening of racing. Plenty of fun. And a lot of entertainment as ever. We do still have drivers finishing the race, though. Michael Jones is on the final lap of the race. We also have Toby Ward just crossing the line for the final point scoring position, actually. Martin Kenyon now just coming around into the final chicane as well. What did you all think of that, everyone? I hope you enjoyed that. Stick around, though, because, of course, we will have driver interviews shortly. And no, John, it was not commentator's curse at all. There'll just be a completely unrelated apology in Discord very soon. I'm so sorry, John. I really am. I wasn't even looking at your car either. I was just saying that you were doing well in 5th, and then all of a sudden you were off the track. But Alcantech, once again, reigning supreme at Spa-Francorchamps. There's Michael Jones across the line. And the race comes to an end. So, let's have a look then, shall we, at how that race finished officially. Lennart Schneebel takes the race win, just under 0.4 of a second from his teammate Alex Johnson. Lovely teamwork by them near the end. Great drive by Tim Perry as well, though. He started 10th on the grid in that race. Fantastic effort. Cam Dance also started 14th. Jack Johns started 16th and finished in 5th. Kevin Zemstra finished in 6th place, so more points for him. Rob Lundgren, what a great night for Rob. He got his first championship points in the first race. I think he finished in 7th in that one. Then he finished 7th in this one as well. Great night for Rob. Very well done. John Bailiff finished in 8th. That's a really good recovery. John Roberts eventually finished inside the top 10 despite my commentator's curse. Ben Gregory from the back of the grid in 19th comes up to finish in 10th. Mats Gestrombacken manages what damage he had to finish in 11th. Sam Bentham, after going straight on at turn 1, recovers to 12th. Jalbrio Garcia was just 6/10 of a second back. But again, more championship points for the Team Kabuto driver. Simon Price finishes 14th, just under a minute off the pace. And then Toby Ward is the final point scorer in 15th. Behind him was Martin Kenyon and then Michael Jones. Lasse Sorensen classified 6 laps down, and then the other retirements as well. Mark Redford, Jakob Szymanski, Ed May, Ben Hoffman and Silas Craig Vrolik in a bit more of an, let's say, attritional race near the end. So, can't find anybody for interview. Where's the interview waiting room? We're going to quickly jump back to the start of the race. We're going to whack it in slow motion, and then we're going to have some drivers in to have a chat. And the first person, just ignore that going on the right-hand side of the screen. The first driver that we're going to interview is our race winner, and it's Lenny. Lenny Sunshine, you've done it. Fantastic victory. Your first one of the season. Tell us how you feel.
I feel pretty good. It's a big relief after the first couple of rounds. Obviously, always had a pretty bad qualifying. But race pace-wise, we were usually one of the fastest. So I think that was a pretty good one. Especially thanks to Kevin, not to Kevin, but to Alex. We played a little team game that was amazing. So thank you so much, and as well thank you to Kevin for being my teammate.
I was going to say stuff, Kevin, but it looked like a lot of fun. To be fair, I know that there's always trials and tribulations in these sorts of races because the cars are so difficult to drive and there's always contact and people spin in and so on. But when you survive it, it can be a really good laugh, can't it? This car.
Yeah, definitely. Especially after the first couple of laps where things are usually a bit rough. The car feels pretty nice. Still a bit sketchy around slow corners, but it's pretty fun. It's, in my opinion, a pretty much underrated car.
Yeah, and I think that's why we wanted to do this, really, is that it is such a gem of a racing machine. I mean, it's ridiculously fast. It makes a hell of a noise. It looks fantastic. I don't think there's any reason why anyone wouldn't want to drive it, other than the fact that it's half impossible.
Yeah. It's pretty hard to drive sometimes.
Absolutely.
I think that's the main reason for this unpopularity.
Yeah, definitely is. Now, next time round, we are going to your home race, Lenny. We're going to Hockenheim for the next round of the championship. Is that something you're looking forward to, or is it a track that you don't really enjoy? Because a lot of Germans that I speak to don't like Hockenheim.
I love that track.
Oh, good.
It's super for racing. It has a nice flow. A lot of passing opportunities with the hairpin and the Mercedes Arena, or that chicane thing. I don't know. I think it's beautiful for racing. Way better than Spa, because that was just a draft fest. I'm looking so much forward to it. Yeah.
It should be a good laugh, mate. And before we let you go tonight, is there anybody you'd like to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, a shout out to my team. As I said, especially to Alex. That was a pretty fun race. Yeah, thank you to Alcontech, to all of our sponsors, and thank you for the stream.
Thank you very much, Lenny. Always a pleasure to speak to you, mate. Well done tonight on getting that first win. We hope for more in the future, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, see ya.
Cheers. Lenny Schneebel there, the race winner in round 6 of the CDM Formula Renault 3.5 Championship. What we'll do is bring in a man that had a bit of a mixed bag of results tonight. After taking the win in the first race, Sam, you went straight on at turn 1 in the second race. What happened there? Was that avoidance of other stuff going on, or did you just lock up?
I got net coded onto the grass, and surprisingly, it's quite hard to brake on grass.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was going to wait for the runoff and then try not to end up. Then I got some damage, so it did end up a few laps later when the oversteer took me by surprise there, which is a bit embarrassing.
Well, that's one of the things with this car. You know, it's on rails until it's not, isn't it? It's very much hot and cold, this car.
And then and out especially here, you've got 2 corners where you can make first gear. You've got to be very careful on the left pedal, especially with damage. So.
Well, it certainly makes for entertainment, I can tell you that. It may not always be the most entertaining from behind the wheel as a driver, but from out here, it is a right barrel I'll have to watch. Next time out, though, we go to a much flatter place. We're going to Hockenheim for the next round of the championship. It's nice and wide in most places there. Are you excited for that one?
Yeah, it should be okay. I prefer the old layout.
You and me both.
I think too. But it's still a half decent place where I've had some success in the past in Portugal and other things. So yeah, looking forward to going there. There are two tracks still on the schedule where I have not raced at all. So definitely looking forward to it more than most.
And what might those be?
I think definitely Hungaroring, and let me check.
We've got Monza, Catalonia.
Red Bull Ring.
Oh,
I don't
Red
even
Bull.
own the track for it. I don't own the track for Red Bull Ring.
Oh, it is an absolute gem. It's probably one of my favourite circuits in the world that I will visit again. It's just beautiful there, really is. And to be fair, back onto Hockenheim, I always maintain that Hockenheim's not a great circuit to hot lap or really to drive, but for racing in general, it just really is a gem. I mean, I've still maintained to people the best race I've ever commentated on in anything, whether it be sim racing or real world motorsport, was at Hockenheim with Clio Cup, and it is an absolute scream sometimes. So hopefully you guys can entertain us just as the Clios did a couple of seasons ago. But for now, is there anyone you'd like to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, the guys at Boosted are being very, very good to me, guesting to take me on board for the series. Thanks very much to them. And as always, I partner on watch all these races, and I'm never sure why. So I'm glad I could pay them off with a win today.
Well, it was a very, very good win indeed, Sam. I'm sure it was quite the relief to finally get that, because we know that you've got so much pace and so much consistency. So we hope to see more in the future, mate. But for now, enjoy the rest of your evening. Cheers.
Thanks very much, Chaz.
Cheers. And what would we be doing if we did not bring in probably one of the best drivers of the evening, if you ask me, Rob Lundgren. Rob, you had an absolute belter tonight. You hadn't had any championship points coming into this round, but all of a sudden you back it up with 2 top 10s. You must be very, very pleased.
I am. I'm very pleased. It's a lot of hard work all night.
And I mean, well, it's hard work just to keep the car on the road. But what was the what was the secret to getting the pace out of it tonight? Was there anything that you did differently?
Not really. Just the track. One of the tracks that I feel secure about.
Yeah, that's fair enough then. That's the thing as a driver. It's all about confidence in the circuit, isn't it? And knowing each tiny little bump and rise and so on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's very easy to just sort of overestimate a circuit or even underestimate a circuit, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of the tracks that I always enjoyed driving on. Even if it can be a bit, well, shall we say, crazy with different off tracks and such.
Yeah.
Track limits.
Oh, totally. It totally is at times. Now, next time we go to Hockenheim, which is very flat in comparison to Spa, but still quite a nice wide circuit. Do you enjoy Hockenheim?
Not decided yet. If it's going to the dustbin or to the shelf with light tracks. But I'll do my best.
I'm sure you will, mate. Is there anyone you'd like to give a quick shout out to before we let you go?
All the guys in Team Superior, Superior Imports Sweden, Time Attack, Punkt Nu. Great team.
Lovely stuff. Well, thank you very much for your time, Rob. Absolutely awesome results tonight. Well done, and hopefully we'll see more of that in the future. But for now, enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers, mate. And that is, unfortunately, all we have time for here tonight on Chaz Draycott Media. And in the CDM Formula Renault 3.5 Championship. A very mixed bag of results for people tonight. Sam Bentham takes the win in race 1, but then gets a 12th place finish in race 2. And Lennart Schneebel gets a very popular first race victory of the season. I'd say that's going to go down very, very well with Alcantech. There was plenty of drama, plenty of argy-bargy, but a lot of entertainment all the same. Thank you all very much for joining me tonight. It's been my absolute pleasure. I've been Chaz Draycott. This has been the CDM Formula Renault 3.5 Championship. And join us in a week's time where we'll be at Hockenheim for rounds 7 and 8. But for now, enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you soon.
Opportunistic, still rubbing panels as they go together. It's folded the wing mirror in on Gerardo's car.
Misano is such a difficult circuit for these guys to get right. There's a lot of start-stop sections around the back. It's a very, very quick section as well.
It's a fantastic start from the 23. They're 4 wide there by the look of it.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.